What's up, guys? Welcome to a new episode of Talking Figures. As always, I am Tony, coming at you today with a special edition episode. My guest today, you know her very well. She is on every episode of the pre-roll every Friday, 6 p.m. on my channel. You can catch her over on her channel at Crown Fox Productions. There, she does live streams like evening or afternoon divinations.
Or morning.
She does Sasquatching from time to time. She does short films. She's a great filmmaker and an editor, and she is a fantastic human being. So please welcome to the show the very talented, the very lovely, my beautiful wife, Dominique, or AKA Crown Fox Productions. Welcome, babe. How you doing?
Hi.
No, you get a special treatment because I call you babe. I don't call anybody else.
Yeah.
I don't call anybody else. I appreciate you for doing this.
Yeah. Thank you
I
for
know for months now I wanted to do this. So I just want you to know that.
asking. Oh,
But your father collects and you've collected,
my mom
so
collects.
your mother collects. Your brother even is a collector as well.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a no-brainer. You have to be on this show. So
I come from a family of collectors.
exactly. So that being said, we're going to start with the first question I start with all my guests.
Yes.
That is, what started your collection? When did you get into collecting, and when did you know it was becoming a collection, not like a toy thing? Like most kids when they have toys, they break them.
Yeah.
So when did you kind of realize I don't want to break this? This has to go on like a shelf type stuff.
I'd say. Well, I'd say my first collection. Okay, this is before I knew what a collection was. As I
Yeah.
would say, I would collect little animals, like
Okay.
little toy, like literally this tiny animals, or actually any size animals. Like it had to be an animal for me to want it.
Okay.
And I was like plastic ones.
You're referring to like the solid mold
Yeah,
plastic
solid
animal.
mold,
Okay.
no articulation at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like my I remember I like stole a small tiger toy from preschool, and another toy that was my favorite was the jaguar from Tarzan.
Okay.
It had a wire in its tail. That was about
Okay.
the
As much.
extent of the articulation.
Yeah.
Um, but like my first official collection, if you want to call it that, beside like was when my dad got me started on Beanie Babies.
Beanie Babies.
Yeah, and that was like
Yeah, because Beanie Babies was late '90s.
yeah, it was like early 2000s. So
Yeah. Yeah. That was when the craze hit. Late '90s, early
I
2000s.
was in like I had to be in like no more than second grade. I feel like
Really?
yeah,
Do
or
you
like a
remember? Do you
little bit after
remember? Do
second
you
grade.
remember the Beanie Baby that did it? Like the
Well, I
particular
was
one?
told that like this is a collection, like we're
Okay.
collecting. So
Okay.
it wasn't like I was like I knew I had to keep the ball
Pristine.
relatively good, not
Yeah.
pristine, but like relatively good. Like first thing I did was take off the tags, which you're not supposed to do with Beanie Babies.
Yeah.
But like I think I kept some. I think I don't remember if I was told to keep some on or I just did, or that was if that was when I got older. But I know my favorite. I had like two favorite or like two really memorable Beanie Babies was uh a lion, obviously, because cats,
Yeah.
and a robin. And I
Okay.
think that was because I had a friend because I went to it was like a Catholic school, but it went from like kindergarten to high school
Okay.
all in one thing. So I had like a high school friend named Robin, and
Okay.
like her and I would hang out and like on lunch or whatever. So I was like, I think that's why the Robin might have been my favorite at the time.
Oh,
I
okay.
think.
So you had like a little bit of an attachment to it because it was
Yeah,
your friend's name.
yeah,
Okay.
and but I was told from the beginning that Beanie Babies are like this is your collection, you're collecting them.
Well, did you
I think.
your father? Because your father started buying
Yeah,
you
so
these.
he would resell them.
Would he get mad when you ripped the tags off?
No, because he had
No.
like ones that he would resell and ones that he bought for
Keep.
me.
Yeah, that you would keep.
So like I would
Okay.
start my own collection.
Yeah.
But like
Okay.
we went to the store knowing, oh, time to collect some more.
Time to
You know?
go hunting
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah. It wasn't like oh, here's a toy for you.
Okay.
It'd be like it was, but it was like with the knowing of like this is a collection.
It was a
Kind
collection.
of thing.
All right. So it starts with Beanie Babies, right? So your father
Yes.
brings you Beanie Babies. You guys start going out. You start hunting for Beanie Babies.
Yes.
What was there anything else? Did you start firing off into something else? Was now you said you like animals.
Yes.
I know. I remember you
Oh,
saying
so
something
yes.
about
Briar.
horses. Yeah, the okay.
Yeah.
What were those?
Specifically Briar brand.
Okay.
Uh the I don't know. I just had an upset like cats and horses
You're just
growing up.
you're an animal lover. It's one
Yeah.
thing I've
But it was like cat stuffed animals.
Yeah.
A cat was my first stuffed animal.
Okay.
Then I had all those giant lion. Have you seen those like stuffed animals that are just like
I've seen a
lying
few, yeah, but
down
I don't know
like
if
tiger?
were they a particular brand or was it just like
No,
a
just like those
randoms?
big ones that are just laying down like this.
Yeah, just like the big stuff.
Yeah, I
Okay.
had those. But then like for figurines, whatever you want to call them,
Yeah.
statues, it was the Briar horses.
Okay.
So I had all because Spirit was one of my favorite things. Like I said, I was
But that's the movie you're talking about, Spirit?
yeah,
Okay.
which I saw in theaters.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, all my friends growing up rode horses.
That was an animated movie about a horse, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah,
All right, continue.
yeah. Then I rode horses for a bit at like
Yeah.
age 3. That did not last long. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so it was again like animals. But again, like which is funny about the name Fox because that comes later. That was another collection. But
Yeah.
early on, it was cats and horses.
Okay.
And
So you were not into some. This is what I'm getting from you right now, if you don't
yes,
mind.
yes.
Um, you don't. You were not Barbies, no dolls.
No, that was later, and it was only Bratz,
Okay.
and like only like I had like one or two favorite characters of them.
So
I refused to play with Barbies because I was like that's too girly.
yeah, yeah.
So
So yeah, I guess I'm noticing that. So you like more of the
which is
animals,
funny because my mom collects dolls, not Barbies, but like she
the
collects
porcelain,
international.
right? The porcelain ones, no.
Some are porcelain, some are
Okay.
like it's when she travels or when someone she knows travels, they bring her an international doll. So like they're made in that country
Yeah,
usually. So
yeah,
they're all types of one's clay, one's like a normal like couple of normal dolls, some are pure porcelain.
yeah.
And like so I yeah, that was just like I grew up around collection, so it
Did
was
she
just a
let you?
thing.
Did she let you like? I don't want to say play with them, but like
Yes, there was a couple that
you were
I played
allowed to
with.
like
Yeah, one
mess
was
around.
like
Okay,
a Inuit, like Alaskan, so it was all
okay.
furry.
Yeah, yeah,
Again, animals, fur. I just realized the connection. But I was like, it was in like a fur
yeah, yeah.
thing, and I would just carry it around. And then I broke it because I wanted to carry it at like 4 years old. It was a porcelain doll of
Mm,
the girl holding or walking a dog in like a
okay.
fancy dress.
Yeah,
Again, had to have an animal,
yeah, yeah.
like and
Because my mother collected those porcelain ones as well,
yeah,
and heaven help you if she saw it like like it was one of those things where it would go up on the thing.
yep,
But my biggest issue, and a lot of the times, and I'm sure any collector will probably agree with this, and you might even too.
yeah,
Um, when you set the stuff up, you always got to make sure you keep it clean, keep it
mhm,
like no dust, right?
mhm,
So every now and again, I'll go over here, I'll take these guys off the shelf,
yeah.
wipe them down, and then put them back up because nothing annoys me more than when you like look over at this stuff and
You
it's
just
got
see a layer of dust.
this much dust, right? So, but that's how my mother was. She was never cleaned. She would just put it up
Um,
and leave it. So, like
yeah,
my sister, obviously, she's the youngest one of all of us,
yeah,
loved playing with dolls,
mhm,
loved, so she always wanted to go up and I would always at
uh,
least say to my mother, like, at least get them down to clean them.
yeah,
So at least you could let her
yeah,
interact with them
yep,
at that point.
yeah,
This way she shuts up and stops trying to reach and steal them. Like, you take them without you knowing.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, so like, did your mother like take them down and clean them, and that's when you were able to play with them, or was she was just like, no, they stay there, and did you have that same problem?
Well, she had enough to fill only one cabinet. So it
Oh,
was
so
a
she had it in
glass
check.
cabinet.
See, my mother
Yeah.
didn't have it in check.
And she kept the breakable ones up high where I couldn't reach, and the one that I was allowed to play with was at the
Door
bottom.
doors at the bottom. Okay, so
Yeah.
she
So
had
I
like
could
a
just I had to ask or
yeah.
she had to hand it to me, but she would just like I don't know if she was cleaning them or what, but like she would take out a few and like talk about it or show me. So I don't know if that was like her cleaning them.
Yeah, yeah.
And some of them like I don't know. I didn't really see dust like on them, and
Okay.
I don't know if it was because it was in glass all the time, like
Yeah.
never opened,
Well,
or
when you
what.
take care of them, like she probably
Yeah,
took care of them. Like I said, a
yeah,
lot of the times you have to take care of these things. That's why I
yeah,
always put my figures in bags.
yep,
I put the accessories away. I don't want to
hmm
lose anything. I don't want to get
yeah,
anything filthy or stained because that happened to me. When I first started putting my action figures in bins, I didn't put them in bags. I just
oh
threw
wow,
them all in.
with
And
like accessories and everything.
no, 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 no. The
Oh
accessories still
okay,
went to the side. It was
okay,
just all figures were stacked on top of each other.
yeah,
But the problem was one afternoon when I went looking for a figure because I was shooting something,
yeah,
and I took out Vision from Avengers,
hmm
and he's the yellow one, so he's like the old school one. He's from the comic books,
yeah,
and there's like because he was sitting like I guess on top of other figures.
yeah.
The
The color scheme.
dye from one of the figures got on to his back or his cape, and I
Wow.
can't get it off.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of like, that's when it was like almost like a light bulb. It was like, what the fuck are you doing, man?
Yeah.
Like I don't want to fuck these things up like that. Even
Yep.
if I'm not even thinking about reselling them, just
Mhm.
in terms of like, if you take a picture of these things
Yeah.
and then you see just a big nasty scuff,
Yeah.
and you can't get rid of it. I mean, you could probably get rid of it in post,
Yeah. But still.
but it's still the principle of the thing. Everybody tends to want to just kind of practical. Everything wants to just be there, so you don't have to really edit it.
Yep.
Um, so that was kind of awakening for me. I hate it when people collect things and they don't take care, because I noticed even you, and we'll get to this right now because they're behind you on the couch.
Oh yes.
Your Squishmallow
Yes.
collection. That's when I met you. That's what
Yeah.
you were collecting when we met.
Oh, it was
Uh,
bad
yeah,
before.
yeah. Even when I met you and I came to your house and they were everywhere.
Were they? I did. I show you the photo of them all on the bed.
Yes,
Yeah.
we did. Yeah. But what was
But I had other collections throughout before then.
that's what I'm saying, and we'll
So it
get
went from the horses
yeah. So it's
to a
from the
different thing.
horses.
Yeah.
Then you started messing around with your mom's dolls a little bit. As long as
Around the same time
yeah, okay. So
or
now,
before. Yeah.
what was the next one? Like I said, eventually we're going to work our way to squishes because it's standing behind you,
Yeah.
staring at us.
So briefly, it was like I said, the brats.
Okay.
But that was only a couple. I wouldn't even say it was a collection. It's just like dolls I had.
They just got those. You
They
just
were
played
just
with those.
toys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Then it went to Littlest Pet Shop. Those like bobblehead,
Yeah, those are
tiny little animals. Oh,
like
I had Polly Pockets. That was the closest to dolls I had like as a kid.
yeah, but you didn't collect those, right?
I
Those
w-
are just toys you had as a child.
I feel like it bordered on the collection though,
But you had a lot
because
of
I
them.
tried. Yeah,
Okay,
and
okay.
then but I was just like nah, because they're not animals. But Littlest Pet Shop was
I
a
had the I
collection.
had the equivalent to Polly Pocket, which was Mighty Max,
That's so funny.
and they were impossible to keep.
I
Like
never even heard of that.
oh yeah, Mighty Max. They made a cartoon. Uh,
Of course.
yeah. But I lost. You would lose because they were
Yeah.
tiny. I would lose them all the time. My sister
Yep.
had Polly Pocket. She lost
Yeah.
them shits all the time because my
I know
mother.
they're small,
So
rubbery.
listen, I never. Obviously, you know me. We
Yeah.
sleep together. Right. So you know that I don't. I've never fully grown up. Right. So like my whole life, like it's like my brother would get. I would get my brother's hand me down toys, and then when my mother started buying toys for my sister, I
Ah,
still. So I got like a double
double
whammy.
toys. Yeah,
Yeah, but
that's
I
funny.
never like she would be here and she would give me like Mighty Max because she bought her Polly Pocket,
Oh,
you
that's
know.
funny.
But even when I got to a certain age,
Hmm.
like I would be like, "Ma, can you still give me those things?"
Yeah,
And she said no,
I'll still take
obviously.
them.
Yeah, but she said no. You're too old for that
Oh,
shit.
oh my
But
god,
yeah, but I had Mighty Max. It was the equivalent. And
that's
if I
funny.
could tell you how many times my mother bought me the same little rock castle formation because
Because you
I
lost it.
because I kept losing Mighty Max and the
Oh
weird
my god.
barbarian guy that came
Yeah,
with him. It was so fucking
I lost like the boots, the
yeah.
little rubber boots that would slide on and off. I just lost one. I was like, well, can't use this one.
It's
Can't
yeah,
have one
it's
boot.
ridiculous,
Yeah.
man. As kids, you don't take care of accessories. You don't
No.
appreciate
Yeah.
the the craftsmanship and the artwork that goes into these little
Yeah. Yeah.
things. Like obviously as an adult you appreciate it, but as a kid, you don't give a shit.
Mm-mm.
Because I don't. I bought action figures for my nephew,
Yeah.
and within the first 5 minutes,
Yep.
they were
Not even exaggerating.
they were in shambles,
Yeah.
and I was just like,
Yeah.
I just bought this for you. Like you just opened it, and it's already.
Toys are a waste on kids,
They
honestly.
really are.
Yeah.
They truly are. So Polly Pocket, that's interesting. Like, I'm glad you
Yeah.
brought up that because like nobody ever brings that up.
Yeah.
Everybody usually brings up
That was smaller compared to the Littlest Pet Shop.
Littlest Pet Shop. I remember that being
Yeah.
for like more like listen, obviously we can always play with it as kids because
Yeah. Well,
the,
I'm still like in this timeline. I'm still very young
you're very
because
young, yeah.
my middle school, high school obsession was different,
Okay. So
or
this is
the
still
collection was
this is
different.
your adolescence now. You're still a child.
You're still a child, yeah.
All right, so fast forward with me if you will.
Okay. So
To
it went.
what was it? What were you collecting in high school? Because I thought you were collecting the horses in junior high school and high
The
school.
horses never stopped.
Oh, so they started young and then you just
Yeah.
kept going.
Yeah. They kind of stopped around like late high school.
Late
But
high school. That's
I would
funny.
like.
I
I
was
mean,
expecting you to say like, yeah, late elementary school.
no,
Yeah.
like they were always in the background. I always had
Yeah.
them up. I had like my dresser, and there was a TV, and then like all my like giant figurine horses
Okay.
would be right next to my TV. Just like anything I couldn't put away, like
Yeah.
that were small. But in middle school, I started loving books, so I
Okay.
collect books. Like I wanted a huge library. Like the little amount of books I have now is like a fraction of what I had. I had basically a library.
Wow.
Yeah. And then but it
So
was
I mean, look, right from get go, you're a collector.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it was literally like it wasn't like why are you collecting this? It's like okay, what's your collection? Part of the
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
in the family. And then it was Pokemon cards and Naruto cards.
All right. So you're a card gamer, huh?
Yeah. Well, I didn't even no, I
You
didn't
didn't play, you just
game it. I
collected.
just collected the cards.
Here's where I want to kick you in the ass. Okay?
I tried to learn. If
No,
that's
no,
what you're
no.
gonna
I
ask.
don't give a shit about the game. I just wish you would have put those things in sleeves and saved
We
them
had
because they would
the
have been
Pokemon, yeah.
worth money.
Well,
Uh,
I did sell one Naruto card. But they had tins. They were like supposed to be collection tins.
yeah, you should have. Oh man, like because
The
I have,
Pokemon I didn't have
and
enough
here's
of.
the only reason I say this to you
Yeah.
because the same thing happened. My mother stops
Yeah.
buying toys. You
Yep.
get into a certain age, you have to start collecting something.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna be toys.
Toys, yeah.
So most people when I talk to them, they got into comic books.
Well, I had manga.
Yeah, so
Japanese
most of them get into
comics
comic books.
essentially, yeah.
Now I had comic books, but I comic books were in my life. Like I said, as far back as I can, because my
Yeah.
father was a comic book reader. I said it
Yeah.
yesterday. He read Conan all the time.
Yep.
He had Conan books. He had Batman. So he was always reading comic books with my dad.
Yeah.
So that was always around.
Mhm.
So that I don't really ever consider myself a comic book collector because they
Mm,
were always around. I didn't take care of them.
yeah.
It,
Okay, so then I guess you could say I have less collections. If you're counting the definition as like things you collect, you take care of.
well, listen, you can play with them.
Yeah.
You can admire them and whatever. But
Yeah.
as long as you understand what it is, like oh like
Yeah.
I have to have more of this particular item.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
so
That
what
was what I
happened for
thought for
me
that.
was as I got older,
Mm,
it became basketball cards.
yeah.
So and Marvel cards. So
Mhm.
there was the Marvel trading card thing
Yeah.
because I wasn't into card gaming.
Yeah, not me
I
neither.
like the trading card
Yeah.
aspect. Hey, I like yours. Let's
Yep.
trade, right?
Trading.
So I got into Marvel cards with my brother
Mhm.
because he was into it, and I got his hand me
Oh.
downs. He had like the series 1 or 2, and then I started collecting series 3, 4, and then all so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And then he got heavily into basketball. I'll never forget it. He used to tell me all the time. I believed in superheroes
Mhm.
until I saw Michael Jordan. And then I believed that superheroes were real because Jordan like literally defied all logic in basketball.
Yeah.
Same thing with Lawrence Taylor. Like once my brother discovered sports,
Yeah.
like he went from all the toys, comics, very
Mhm.
young, got into pro wrestling, just like I did.
Yeah.
Like we kind of followed the same parallels. The only difference was he got heavily into sports, and I stayed with wrestling and nerds and
Yeah.
comic books and cartoons and shit like that. So,
Mhm.
um, so he got into sports, and then he discovered Jordan, like I said, Lawrence
Mhm.
Taylor, and all these people.
Mhm.
So he got heavily into basketball cards,
Okay.
and when I saw that again, that was another like branch of like, oh, I think I can bond with him
Yeah.
by doing this too.
Mhm.
So I started getting into basketball cards, and I started getting into basketball because he would show me Jordan all the time. Like this guy's, you got to see him. He's like a superhero. You like superheroes? Look how
Yeah.
amazing how this guy is. Like he could fly. Essentially, he told me,
That's cool.
you know.
Yeah.
And I would watch, and you would watch Jordan play, and you'd be like, it's like he's playing with toddlers. Like that's how
Wow.
good he was at the time that I started watching him. I know he had his
Yeah.
years, whatever. But so immediately I'm like, I gotta have basketball cards too.
Yeah.
And that's how that I still have them.
Really?
If anybody, nobody ever asks me, what's your grail? They always, it wouldn't be a toy.
Really?
If it was a toy, it would be Death from Darksiders because
Yeah.
that's my old, like, I've wanted that to be an action figure since 2012 when the game came out. Okay.
Wow. Yeah.
Now, my grail, that I have 224 Michael Jordan mint basketball cards
Seriously?
of all varying brands.
Where are they? I haven't
Fleer,
seen them.
Upper Deck, they're in the bedroom. Okay? They're in a sleeve
Okay.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay? I have Charles Barkley. I have Patrick Ewing from that era of basketball that me and my brother loved.
Oh
My
wow.
brother,
Wait, are they from that time period?
yes,
Wow.
yes, they're from the 90s. Okay? My brother, right, has 400 and something Jordan cards. Okay, because he was a bigger Jordan fan
Yeah.
than I was, and would go to card shows and buy
Oh
like the
wow.
rare ones where
Yeah.
I was a kid, so I didn't have that money.
Yeah.
So he would get furious when I would rip a pack open and MJ would be staring me in the face.
Oh my
because he had to go to a card
Yeah.
show and I'd be like, oh shit, scoring title Jordan. He'd be like, what the fuck, like shit like that. So, you know, um, but yeah, so we got really into that.
Yeah.
So like when I hear that you had like Yu-Gi-Oh cards and
Yep.
Pokemon cards, like even though you could have played with them, I'm not saying that you couldn't have played the game.
Yeah.
They should have went back into a book of
What's
sleeves.
funny is because the Pokemon cards were, it was either Digimon. I think it was either Digimon, Pokemon, or Yu-Gi-Oh. But I think
Yeah,
we got those only because other people were collecting those, and we
yeah,
wanted to
yeah,
like play with those people.
yeah.
But the Naruto cards are really like we
Those are
need all of them. Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause that was like that with a particular there was a Marvel card brand. I don't know. It was I don't know if it was called Maximum Carnage, but it came out right around when the game Maximum Carnage came out.
Okay.
They were Fleer Ultra Spider Man, just Spider Man. So there
Oh
was no
wow.
other superheroes,
Yeah.
but it was just him, his villains, and what have you.
That's cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
I had to have every last one because they
Yeah.
was such good art.
Yep.
It was so good.
Yeah.
They had these special edition cards where they were like plastic.
Oh
They
wow.
were see through, and you would just see like
Oh
it was almost
nice. Hologram.
like a snow like a slide you would put on a projector.
Oh
And that's
wow.
almost essentially what it looked like
Yeah.
like a frame from a movie from
That's
a
cool.
cartoon, right?
Yeah.
And I had all of those.
That's cool.
They had the holograms.
Yep.
I had all of those. I was one card away. One card away. I had it I went to the
What, from
store.
collecting all of them or
I was
something?
collecting them, and I
Yeah.
would buy there was a corner store, so I would run there, and every time I had money, I would do
Yeah.
chores, whatever, and I would run to the store, and this guy at the corner store bought these cards because me, Artie, Tom would go and buy these cards. So he started
Oh,
having them.
that's nice.
Yeah. So one afternoon I went in, I bought the last 3 packs. So he's like, "Do you want the box?" And the box had a cool, art on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, please." And
Yeah.
I put all the cards in there.
Nice.
Now I'm young. I'm very young, so I don't know about plastic and
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. My brother just bought like the only thing I used the binder sleeves
Oh
were
yeah.
for basketball cards. So
Mm,
my comic cards I just had in like boxes and
yeah.
like the card boxes and shit
Yeah.
like that. So I had this particular box had the entire set.
Oh my
I
gosh.
was one card away. Okay. I put it now. I lived in an apartment in the city. Now most Italians from the city know how this works.
Mhm.
My grandparents owned the building.
Mhm.
They lived in the middle apartment, but they did everything in the basement.
Mhm.
We lived in the top apartment,
Mhm.
but we could come in through the basement and go all the way upstairs. Okay.
Okay.
I would go in through the basement and I put these things in like as soon as you walked into the basement, it was like a little like coat,
Closet or
like,
something?
like not a coat, but like almost like a sunroom area.
Okay.
So I put the cards right there because I knew the next day I was going to come, grab them, and go back and buy more because
Yeah.
I knew my mother and father were going to give me some the little money that we had. They
Yeah.
would hook me up.
Yeah.
I go
Oh
upstairs, I
wow.
go to sleep. I can't wait. I left it there under the guise of like less than
Good.
24 hours.
Yeah.
I'm going to come right back down and grab it.
Yeah.
I was showing it to people. So we were outside hanging out. It was
Yeah.
like at nighttime, and we would just all like,
Yeah.
marking out over our cards.
Yeah.
So I come downstairs the next day, the box is gone.
Oh my gosh.
I go, I know I left it here, so I maybe I didn't. I run upstairs, I tear my bedroom apart.
Mhm.
Not there. My brother's like, "What the fuck?" Because I'm sharing a room with him. I'm
Mm.
like, "I'm sorry. Where are these cards?" He goes, "You didn't bring them up here, dummy." He
Mhm.
goes, "You came right up here. You played Sega, and then you went to sleep."
Mhm.
So I go back downstairs. Nothing. My father's in the garage, right? So I
Yeah.
go out and I ask him. I go, "Did you see these cards?" And he goes, "No." And I go, "All right." So I go back inside and I say, "Well, the only person to ask is my grandmother and grandfather
Yeah.
because that's their area."
Yeah.
So I asked my grandma, "Is there boxes?" She goes, "Yeah, I threw it out." She goes, "Well, yeah, the garbage guys came. I gave it to them. Say, take this. It's garbage." Yeah. And I looked at her and I said, "What?" And she said, "Yeah, I threw it out." And I went into I mean, I was crying, obviously, because I'm
Yeah.
young. So I go into I never, this was the first time I ever heard my father curse out his mother.
Aw.
Like he used to curse and yell at his dad all the time,
Yeah.
but it never,
Wow.
never his mother. And I went in there and I told, because my dad was a comic book collector
Oh.
and they did it to him.
Aw.
He had he had rare Supermans that if he had today, we wouldn't have any money problems. Okay, he said in sleeves because he
Yeah.
knew, and he
Yeah.
and he went to Vietnam. He
Oh
came
my
home and they
gosh.
threw all of that shit out.
Oh my
He had Mickey Mantle baseball cards.
wow.
He had all kinds of shit. He said he said Tony goes, I had all kinds of shit
Yeah.
saved because I knew. And he goes, I went to Vietnam. I come back, it's all gone. He goes, that was the first time I cursed out my mother. He goes, now I gotta go do it again because I'm crying. He goes, what's wrong? I said, Grandma just threw out. He goes, Dad, I was one card away.
Yeah.
I was one card away from the. He goes, why didn't you bring it upstairs? I was like, I didn't know I had to.
Yeah.
I was like, I just left it here. I was gonna go upstairs. I was gonna sleep, come
Yeah.
downstairs, grab the fucking thing, and go buy more cards tomorrow.
Yeah.
And he went in there and he's like, why the fuck don't you ask? He
Mhm.
goes, did you open it? And that was the
Mm.
deciding factor for him to yell because she was like, yeah. And he goes,
Wow.
so you see fucking cards in there with
Yeah.
superheroes on it. You know you have fucking grandkids
Yeah.
and you toss it in the trash. He goes, what the fuck? And then he flipped out. And I was just like, and now he like literally apologized.
Yeah.
Like he turned around to me and said, I can't replace that.
Mhm.
Obviously, you have to go back and start the
Starting
whole
from.
fucking thing over again.
Yeah.
But it'll always live in infamy in my mind
Yeah.
that like obviously the biggest kicker is we fast forward now. I
Yeah.
buy them on eBay for $20. So I got the whole thing. That's the punchline here.
Oh
You know,
wow.
they were so
Yeah.
priceless to me as a child where I
Yeah.
thought this was it. I'm gonna have this set and it's gonna be worth so much money because the artwork is amazing and this is so amazing.
Yeah.
And $20.
Yep.
$23, I think, was shipping. I got the
Oh
whole set.
my
So, but in those moments, like I said, when it comes to cards, no one's ever brought up cards.
God. Really.
Yeah, no. So when you bring up cards, I always say, man, you should have saved those because I
Yeah.
hear people sell magic cards for $100,000, $1 million.
Yeah. I don't know how much the Naruto card. Probably $20.
No, but I'm talking
But
about the
I know
original
the
Pokemon ones.
actual. Yeah. I had
Those,
those too.
yeah, those are worth
But we
money.
were like, I don't know, we weren't that into Pokemon like that to just save them. I just like tossed them. Not, I don't think
Yeah.
anything. My brother probably has like a couple. How like one got ruined because it was in pants when we washed them.
Okay.
But when it was funny how you said that story about the cards because I had that about a toy, but I ruined my own. Like I got rid of it accidentally on my own playing.
Oh, geez, you do that
It
by
was
accident.
yeah. So well, I don't know if you could say it was by accident, but I had the Lion. I love Lion King was my
Oh, I think
favorite
you told me
movie.
this story, guys.
Where I,
Yeah,
with the bridge.
yeah, yeah. Go.
Yeah. So I'm just like bringing it, like we're on a walk or whatever, and I'm just like playing with them, like, and then so we stop at a bridge, uh, and it has like looks like a pipe over it, so I'm just like playing with them on it, and then I was like Akuna Matata, and I just dropped them over the bridge, and I just like it takes you like a moment. I'm like,
You ain't getting that back now.
yeah,
Yeah,
I was like, wait, and then my dad's like, well, you ain't getting that back, like
yeah,
you ain't seeing that again.
yeah.
Because like who knows.
That's it. It's
And
done.
that yeah, and it sucks too because I have the rest of that, like the original like '90s
Wow.
Lion
But
King
you know those two,
rubber toys. Yeah,
those
and I
two
was like,
always live
that
with
would have
you.
been perfect, like
Yeah.
to have it still. But I don't know.
That happened to me
That
one
pissed me
time.
off. But like I don't
Yeah,
know. I didn't catch myself in time.
dude, that happened to me one time. We were playing on the street.
Yeah.
It's me, Tom. I think Artie might have been there.
Oh,
And
I
we
think
s-
I know this
they had
story.
GI Joes.
Yeah.
I don't know who did it. Tom blames me, but I know I would never do that to somebody's toys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and somebody rolled. I forgot what vehicle he had,
Uh huh.
and they rolled it. And we literally, it's it was almost
Oh
it was
wow.
almost in slow
Yep.
motion. Like you just said, like you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Like it just dawns on you of what's happening, right?
Exactly.
This thing started rolling
Oh no.
right towards us a sewer drain. And like the sewer drains in the city has
Yep.
like an opening with the grate,
Yep.
and we watch it. And I don't know, maybe I thought that the
It
the
would
the,
stop
the
or
grate
something.
would stop it, like
Yeah.
it would fall into the this thing. I mean,
Oh wait, it went like sideways
it
across.
went
Yeah.
it went perfectly over the holes of the grate and just onto the metal rods as if like a train,
Yeah.
and guided this thing right down the hole, right into the sewer, right into it. and
Oh
and
my god.
it was like a moment where we all just like froze. We watched it go, and it had action figures in it, everything.
Oh
Yeah, and they just went right in like, and it fell right into the fucking sewer. And we
no.
just
Oh
like
my
we all
god.
just turned around and looked at each other like, and it was like in that moment we're like, well, I guess playing is done.
Yeah.
Now we have to search and rescue.
Did you
Like
get it? No.
we yes, we were able to get it back. Yes. Uh we
You had
used
to
we used
remove
like
it
sticks.
or
We used sticks with gum to get the action figures out, because those toys
sticks with
you
gum?
just put the action figures in the top.
Yeah. Okay.
So we would stick it and pull them out.
That's hysterical.
The thing was beat up already.
Yeah.
So it didn't have like the top shit that goes on to
Okay.
it. So all that shit was already gone because we didn't take care of the shit, you know?
Yeah.
So, but Tom, I think he was attached to it, because
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
loved
Yeah.
G.I. Joe. So,
Yeah.
like, we had to ask somebody who could help us get the fucking thing open, and then we just reached in and grabbed it.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
But in that moment, like, your heart stops.
Yep.
You're staring. And the best part is you're staring through the sewer grate right at it. It's like 3 feet from you. You just can't get it.
Yep.
It's done. It's just like, now it's like you're looking at it in a museum.
Yeah.
Like, you can't touch it. It's
Yeah. I
right there.
saw literally it break the water, and I was just like, and it was rushing too. So
Oh,
like,
that's done.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
can't
gone.
even.
Yeah,
Yeah.
say goodbye to those things. Jesus. All right, so let's now. Can we fast forward, or are you still collecting anything else before squishes?
Uh, no.
All right, so let's fast forward to the squish,
Yes.
because, like I said, that's when I came into your
It
life.
started before it started. The squish.
That's what I'm saying. Because you said
So.
to me when
Oh
I,
wait, yes, there is one thing right before the squish.
what's that now?
Foxes.
Oh, okay. Well, hold on, because let me
Okay.
ask you that, because that's a whole
Yeah.
question. Now, you came up with the name Crown Fox Productions.
Yes.
Obviously, like
Yes.
I've said, known you now for a while.
Yeah.
You love foxes.
Yes.
What brought that on? What brought the obsession with foxes on? What led to the collection of foxes, and what led to the you deciding to name your company
Crown
Crown
Fox
Fox
Productions.
Productions?
Okay, so after the card collecting and the book and the manga, I was very into anime.
Okay.
So there was not much to collect for anime, at least how I did, besides the manga and stuff. But
Well, yeah, back then they didn't really have like toys and stuff over
no,
here.
you could
Yeah,
not get the like
yeah,
SH type stuff.
yeah, yeah,
That
yeah,
like you could anime then was so hard to find. You
yeah,
had to buy it online
yeah.
or at like FYE or at like
You
cons.
had to go to like
That was
certain
like the
stores that
yeah,
would
that was
have it.
the
Yeah.
only place. Now there's like box lunch. Now it's a hot topic. Like it's everywhere. But so I was very into anime, and all my favorite animes had like my favorite characters were foxes. Like in Digimon, it was Renamon, and Cubimon, and Naruto, like he was a fox. Like
Mm,
there was just like I was like, why does everything have foxes? Like obviously foxes are big in Japanese culture. I was very into Japanese culture at the time, middle high school. Um, then there was a point in time where I just started seeing foxes everywhere. Not real ones, but like someone would mention it on TV. There'll be a sticker. I went on like school field trips, and I would go to the gift shop, and the first thing I saw was a fox. Like
okay.
fox was just everywhere at the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
And then crowned is because like my nickname was Princess. So it was just like the two things where I was just like, okay, that sounds elegant. I wanted to like create elegant content.
So, was it that you felt a connection to foxes? So that's why you started collecting things that were fox
Yeah, because
related.
like every time foxes are like mentioned in anime, they're like a spiritual thing. I was very into spirituality too at
Okay,
this time,
you still
like
are.
after Naruto. Yeah,
Yeah, you still are. Yeah.
yeah. So it was just like I don't know. It was just like at the same time of like, okay, I want to start doing movies.
Yeah.
So it was in college, and I just started seeing foxes everywhere. And but like it also reminded me of like growing up of like how much I love or anime or I get it was like a combination of like the animals that I collected as a kid and then like my adult interests of anime. It was like
Legend of
a link.
Foxes.
Yeah. It
Okay.
was
So, what did you have in terms of what did you
oh,
collect?
so it was just
Just everything
stuffed
fox related.
no, just stuffed animals
Just stuffed
actually.
animals. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't have as much now. I got rid of some. One was just like a giant triangle
Okay.
fox. I might have gave that to your nephew. I
Maybe.
mean, I gave some of them to
Yeah.
that. Just like a normal one that I would like sleep with. But I had like a sizable collection of foxes. Like
Yeah.
and then uh like Zootopia I had the little like it didn't matter what kind of fox, it just had to be a fox that was cute that I
Okay.
bought.
Okay.
And then that's when I found on eBay I would like fox stuffed animal. And it was a squishball. But I had no idea like they weren't popular
Is it
at
the
that
one?
time.
Is it the
It was
one
the
that's currently behind you?
no, that's too big. It's the same one as that one, but
Yeah.
it's just smaller. It
Just
was
well.
like
Okay.
an 8 inch.
Okay.
I was like, oh, that's cute. That would be perfect. Because I like that like dumb anime looking
Yeah.
where it's
Yeah.
like just round or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, yeah, that'd be perfect. So I added that to my collection. There wasn't only until like 2 years later when my friend bought me it's not here, but the rainbow, no, the unicorn, catacorn, mermaid,
Yeah. That's on our bed
whatever
right
the
now.
hell
That's
it is
currently
called.
on the bed right
Yeah.
now.
Because I was a Pisces
Yeah.
and so the mermaid part and I love cats and it was unicorn and I love unicorns. Um, that was the official collection because she was in it, like deep into
Yeah.
Squishmallows. Told me everything about Squishmallows. She's like, oh, you can hunt them on these days at these stores. Like these are the different sizes. Like, so I blame her.
Yeah. We
Because like the
always
fox didn't count. Like I didn't know what Squishmallows
yeah,
were
we
then.
always we always have one person that
Yep.
we point the blame to for starting us down
Exactly.
this annoying road.
Yep.
Okay, so this leads me to this question because now
Yeah.
we've heard that you've collected quite a few things,
Yeah.
whether it's the
I
broader
was like, I
horses.
even debating like, do I even say languages because I had to collect them all in school. Like I had, if the school offered a language, I had to learn it.
Jesus,
I
you're
don't know if you want.
such a smarty pants.
I don't know if you want to add that.
No, no, no. Well, no, languages aren't toys.
Well, collections don't have to be toys.
That's true, but
They could be experiences.
I guess memories. That's called
Yeah,
memories.
it's called memory. That's true.
Oh my god! But anyway, listen. There is a fire. I'm already safe. The cats are already safe.
Hmm.
There's a Grail piece in that collection somewhere. What's the first and only
You
thing that
think squish?
you anything? If you had to save anything,
Let me see.
what would be?
Oh wait, gnomes.
Okay, we'll get to gnomes in a
But
second.
gnomes happen right after squish.
Yes, so we'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
What's a Grail piece?
Of what I have so
Yeah.
far.
Well, just anything. What would be something that you have to save? And you
Mm,
have to save something.
yeah.
Because you got a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, do you still have most of these things? No, you don't have the cards, obviously, but do you have?
I gave the Naruto ones to Felix actually. That
Yeah.
was like the last card collection. I don't have any more Pokemon. Don't have manga. I still have the horses, but like you can just see them in stores, like
Uh,
there's nothing where I can't find anymore. Probably a squish, honestly.
okay.
But I'm trying to think of like which Oh, wait, no.
What's that?
It's not here. It's at my parents' house, but I think just out of sentimentality, I would save my first stuffed animal, Boots the cat.
That works.
Because I did collect cat stuffed animals as
Uh,
kid, and then
well,
just
yeah,
turned into
I
boxes
think
and squish.
here's the reoccurring theme of today's episode is that you're very into stuffed animals.
Yeah, not just now I am, but like it's always been animals.
Yeah, you're
Because
always
it was
into,
figurines.
but you're into things that you can cuddle with.
Yeah,
Because
but
even Beanie Babies, if you have enough of them,
that's
you
true.
can like lay on them like a goddamn bed.
That's true.
And I'm sure the
But
way
it
you,
doesn't mean I don't love like non-cuddleable things
I'm
less.
sure, of course, because you have Brat dolls, and then
Yeah,
now we'll even get into because recently you just got into Monster High
yeah.
and gnomes, like you just said, and that's what's going to
Gnomes.
bring us to this.
Yep.
What led you? Because like I said, it's weird because like again, there's a reoccurring theme here:
Yep.
stuffed animals,
Yeah.
or like I said, squishy things.
Yep.
Because even Pokemon is animal based. Yu-Gi-Oh
Yeah.
is animal based. No, so
Yeah.
like they're
That's true.
it's all animal based with you.
Yeah.
So what led you to be interested in grabbing Bratz dolls,
Yeah.
and what led you to gnomes now?
Okay. So, well, both from very important parts of my life too. Bratz was fashion because I've always been into fashion
Okay,
since like high school when I took a like fashion class where we would learn how to sew and everything.
yeah.
So I would say that's from that. That didn't last long because like people made fun of me for liking dolls because I was like middle school.
So even so, I would you put the Monster High in the same category? The fashion, is that what it is?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Uh,
So the
yeah.
doll aspect of it has nothing to do with the doll. It's
No.
essentially what they're wearing. It's the
Yes.
fashion.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
That was the one thing I couldn't get from animals was
Yeah,
like the cool outfits.
yeah. Can't put them in clothing. No,
Yeah.
I mean you can. It just looks weird.
Yeah. You can't. It looks weird, and it could be cruel if it was a
Yeah,
real animal.
yeah.
uh, Wait, what was the other thing?
What was the gnomes? What led you to
Gnomes.
gnomes? Because
Okay.
that's recent.
Yeah.
That's very recent.
Yeah.
Because I've
So,
noticed that with me.
but
Because you
that's
didn't.
a very sizable collection of gnomes.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
becoming a collection now.
Yeah.
It is.
So, well, I would say that's just my spirituality, my love of spirituality, because my aunt got me into fairies at a young age, like
Okay.
11
Yeah, yeah.
to 13, 8. Well, she bought me like my first fairy deck, and then I was all fairies.
Okay.
So, not that I collected fairies, but it's just like I collected like books about them. I was very, very interested in the fairies, fairy realm. Made a movie or two about fairy realm, and then I was like, I don't know. Actually, I'm trying to think of like where the hell gnomes came from.
You know what? Can I honestly tell you what it is? I think we're going to crack this nut open right here on Talking
Please,
Figures.
because I have no idea
It's
what.
me.
But I collected them a lot before
Yeah.
you though.
Did you?
Yes, I okay. Hold on, I think I know. I might because I thought my mom's like, oh,
And
like
I only say me because you call me your gnome. That's the only reason I.
no.
Yeah.
I think it was like manifesting you
Okay.
because eventually like I came to a point where I realized I didn't have to do the traditional routes like oh you have to have kids blah 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 when you
Uh,
get older and whatever or and then I was like no I'm good with being in a cottage like like with cats or something like that.
yeah.
And I was like, and then of course my mom and grandma wouldn't believe me. He's like, oh, you'll have a husband, blah blah. And then I'm like, okay, but if I had a husband, I would want him to be like a gnome. Like when I
Yeah.
saw a gnome, I was like, oh wait, that's like the vibe,
Yeah.
that I like, calm, crafty, hardworking. Like I was like, okay, so then I think that's because like like fairies, like there's fairies, there's pixies, they're all like kind of not like whores, but they kind of are like that,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
they're like sexualized and like which I wasn't into, like and then elves was a later thing, like in Lord of the Rings, and they're just like rude, it's like rude and cold. But I'm like gnomes were the perfect combo of like okay they're fairy, they're mischievous, they're like whimsical, but they're still like practical enough in the real world to like do shit.
Okay.
And also they are supposed to be nature protectors.
Which you love.
Yeah, they protect animals. So it's like, oh,
No one loves a good tree more than my wife.
I do. I'm a tree hugger.
Yeah, for real. The literal
Yeah,
tree hugger. Yes.
literal tree hugger. So I don't know. I think they're just a comforting presence, a spiritual comforting presence that could. And with how I collect them, they combine my spiritual aspect with my stuffed animal aspect because a
Would
lot of
you?
them are. I mean, you can't really see some in the background, but they're kind of filled with cotton and.
Yeah, like they're cuddly essentially.
Yeah, I don't collect like garden gnomes.
No, yeah,
I
no,
have like one or two, but like, or I collect like the little tiny
tiny,
ones.
tiny ones.
I
Yeah.
think from the same brand, Briar,
I
of
think so.
gnomes, because I have a few of those.
Uh,
But I just was always into fairies, and I don't know, gnomes were just like made the most sense to me. If that makes sense.
yeah, it does.
Yeah,
If you connect with something, you connect with something.
yeah,
You know.
because like fairies are too out there.
Listen, I connect with dwarfs. We all
It's
connect with something
similar,
from that
but yeah,
side.
I'm just saying like gnomes are like more in this realm,
Yeah,
practical, and dwarves are just one step above gnomes. I feel like like whoever was the first fantasy person to make dwarves just didn't want to call them
yeah,
gnomes. I feel like
yeah.
they're almost the same thing.
Okay, so here comes the interesting questions.
Uh
'Cause I think these are the questions that people are going to want answered, at least from the male side of the toy community
oh.
or toy space. 'Cause I hate the fucking word. I get it now, Chad. Get it. But anyway, being like because you came into this, and
Mm-hmm.
I was already collecting when
Mm-hmm.
you came into my life.
Yeah.
Um,
So was I.
yes, but it was one of those things where I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that you were a collector.
Yeah.
You know. And one afternoon you came here to borrow a piece of equipment from me
Yeah.
because you were filming something,
Yep.
and I showed you and your dad my collection
Yeah. Because he's really big into
because your
collecting.
dad is a collector as well. He
Mm-hmm.
collects Hot Wheels.
Hot Wheels, robots.
Yes.
Yeah.
Um, being with me now for now we're together quite a while.
Yeah.
We've gone to toy shows.
Mm-hmm.
We've now put forth a serious effort on this YouTube thing,
Yeah.
where you've become a a pivotal part of the pre-roll. I want you to understand that I can't stress this enough that you are a big help.
Thank you.
You do all the comments.
Yep.
You motivate me. You keep
Yeah.
me focused because I have issues with obviously I have my issues, but
Yeah.
um, where how did you embrace it? Like is really the question I have. So it's like I know that you love it, so I'm not going to question that you never
Mm-hmm.
like. I'm not going to say to you like, did you had to convince yourself? Because you're a collector. You come
Yeah.
from a family collector, so it wasn't going to be any. It wasn't a surprise,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
When this like started to happen, we have to go to toy shows now. We
Mm-hmm.
have to do this because there's certain things that I need,
Mm-hmm.
and I've even asked you for like when you say, "What do you want for this?"
Yeah.
and it's a toy,
Yeah.
or it's like the bread van, for instance,
Yeah.
right? How have you embraced this world, or this like now this whole life, being with me now, or being a toy in the toy space, or the wife of a toy collector? For any of these toy collectors who are like, I don't know, their wives might not get it,
I don't
you
get
know?
that.
So, and if they don't get it, a lot of the times either they ridicule or they roll their eyes, or and I'm not saying any of people's wives do this. I'm not saying that. I'm not accusing. But what I'm saying is a lot of the times that happens.
Mhm.
A lot of the times when someone doesn't get what you do
Mhm.
or get what you're into,
Mhm.
they either scoff at it or they roll their eyes at it
Mhm.
because again, what we don't like what we don't understand.
Yeah.
Just immediately, it's just what it is, right?
Yeah.
So when you came into it, how did you understand it,
Mhm.
and how have you embraced it? Like that. Just that's the question I have. Like long-winded explanation for that simple question.
Well, I was actually relieved,
Really?
and like it was refreshing to see because like I've met so many people who don't have passions, and I just can't deal with it. I'm just
Mm,
like to me, you're just an empty vessel if you don't have a quirk, a nerdy interest, a passion, a collection. Like to me, you're just what are you doing? You know?
mm,
Because like I've seen so many people who are just like they don't know what to do. I don't even know. Like they have no personality, and like
yeah.
they don't stand for anything. They don't
Mhm.
have anything that makes them them. And I'm just like, what? Because my whole family is passionate about our projects,
Very true.
our collection. Our It's natural to us.
Yeah.
That's probably why we're so annoying to some people because it's like because we're always doing something. We always have something to talk about because it's like we're always I don't know whether it's a family affair project where we're all doing stuff together.
Yeah.
Like for my movies was a big family thing. Uh, or even if it's just a collection like or a hobby like my mom and my brother collect hobbies. I
Yeah.
feel like you could kind of say so like if it's not we're always interested in something, we're always doing something to further our passions. So to see people who aren't like that is just weird, off-putting. I can't be with people like that, can't stand people like that who are just like empty vessels. So when I saw, I was like, oh my god, like that's what my dad and I talked about when we left. After we saw your collection, it's like, do you see how passionate he is about what he talks about, how knowledgeable he is and what he talks about? I was just like, finally, like a breath of fresh air where someone like knows their shit, loves their shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm just like, I loved it, and like my dad loved you, and I'm just like, oh look, like one of us.
Yeah.
He's like one of us. That's what I thought when I
Well, that's
met
why
you.
I'm saying that. That's why I couldn't ask the question of was it shocking or anything like that
No,
because like when you
it's
walked into it, I could see it.
it's
Like yeah,
what you said was so funny. Like when we walked into your bedroom and the whole ledge had all the action figures, and you said some dumb thing of like, "Oh, guess how girls are not gonna like this," and
I
I'm
know.
like, and I
I
was
think I
literally
said
like,
I said
"No,
look,
I
girlfriend.
love this."
I said look, it's girl repellent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
So
was like, "No, this is so cool."
yeah,
Like I said it so you could hear me say that.
I appreciate you.
Yeah,
I appreciate
but
you.
like it's off putting to me when someone doesn't have that,
Yeah,
when they don't have that.
and I think like
That's why I when you say like some people don't get it, I was like, then I'm like, then how can you be?
well, I because here's the thing, and I notice sometimes people say it. They say,
Yeah,
yeah, my wife doesn't get it. She ain't
I
into
don't
this
get
shit.
that though.
You know,
Like, what is your wife into then? You
because
know?
listen, and it's not just toys.
Yeah,
Because I have toys and wrestling,
yeah,
which we're going to get to now.
yeah,
Okay. So you embraced toys was easy
yeah,
because, like I said, it was in your blood essentially. Your
yeah,
father collects, your mother collects, your brother collects.
yeah,
So like naturally, you seeing this
yeah.
was not going to be a culture
No,
shock.
no,
Wrestling, on
no,
the other hand,
no, no, no. Because I was interested in it because in high school, middle school, I was very into UFC. I grew up
okay,
in a martial arts family. Like I took lessons young. My parents took lessons. My mom was a Taibo instructor for 13 years.
yeah,
Uh, so we always we loved Asian stuff like with the anime,
mm,
ninjas.
yeah,
Um, very into martial arts. I loved military history, paintball. Like I was like aggressive little like ninja girl.
yeah, yeah,
So like, and I don't know why I never saw wrestling. Like it was never on the TVs. I don't know if it was like the time. My
yeah.
parents were watching stuff at the time,
Well,
and I was watching my own
I
stuff.
mean
But
I have general idea of as to why you didn't watch it.
why?
Um, well, you
Well, the
listen.
age.
The age, yeah, you were
Yeah,
born in 1995.
yeah,
Obviously, everybody knows there's you're younger than me.
yeah.
I met you when you were 27,
Yes.
so fuck off if anybody's gonna be dicks about it.
Yes.
She's younger than me, but she's a very old soul.
Oh my god! I
Yeah.
only can hang out like my favorite.
All her friends are old.
My
Yeah.
friends in high school for the most part were a lot of teachers,
Yeah, that's
and
what
in
I'm saying.
college I could
So
only hang
yeah,
out with teachers.
you always were an old soul. But
Yeah.
anyway, we're not going to talk about that. We need to talk about that. I you were young.
Yeah.
The
Too young.
attitude era is really what it was.
Yeah,
The
I
attitude era
was.
was bad. I tell you this
What?
all
Wait,
the
what
time.
year? 20,
Uh,
2005?
yeah, 1996. Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. By 1997, it was full on attitude era.
Okay, I was 2.
Yeah, so that's why you weren't allowed to watch wrestling.
No, but like, wasn't it on like
It was on, but I
2010?
don't think your father and your mother were going to put it on because it was very, at the time,
Graphic.
not even that. At the time, it was all over the news because the mom groups were trying to get it shut down because of how fucking bad it was.
Yeah.
Because they were aiming it at 18s to 34s, not
Mm,
to the kids. Because it used to be aimed at kids in the mid
yeah.
90s. It was very campy. Like it was clowns,
Yeah.
you know. And then in '97, and now it was like Shawn Michaels is taking his ass out, and then
Yeah.
you can't.
Yeah.
And like I said, they were I've told you this. They exploited many women in that time period. It was disgusting.
Yeah.
And obviously Vince McMahon paid for it now.
Yeah.
Obviously they forced him out, right? So,
Yeah.
that's why you didn't watch it. That's literally why,
But I
because
feel like
it was
even.
all over the news of how bad it was. That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying. And then
Oh yeah.
Vince
Okay.
McMahon's on Bob Costas, ripping the paper out of his hands because
Yeah.
Bob Costas saying, what the fuck's going on with your product here? He's like, shut the fuck up,
Yeah.
And that's all over the news as well. So your
Yeah.
mother and father probably seeing that. They're like,
Yeah.
I'm not letting these two watch this shit.
Yeah.
So
Plus, there was always into movies. There's always a movie on
yeah,
instead.
and listen, with all due respect, your mom and dad, well, especially your mother, they're on a thing here.
Pedestal,
Yeah,
yeah.
where that's that
Certain
wrestling.
things
That
cannot.
wrestling is not refined enough for them.
Yeah.
I understand what it is. I'm not a fucking idiot, but that's why I know. That's why you're like, oh,
Yeah.
we never saw it. Yeah, I
But
know
then
why we didn't see it
how was I always watching UFC?
because that's real.
Okay.
That's real. That's sports. That's competition.
Yeah.
The only thing in terms of what sex wise, what is the ring card people?
I don't even remember
That's it.
seeing them when I was
They
watching it.
no, I think because
They were there, but I
they were
just don't
there,
remember.
but like that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. But WWE was disgusting.
Yeah.
I will be the first person to admit it. It was
Yeah.
disgusting.
Yeah.
But again, that's real. You're allowed
Yeah.
to watch that. That's a sport. It's like boxing,
Yeah.
where wrestling is literally two psychos
Yeah.
in colorful
It was
tights.
too much, I guess, circusy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like I said, it was like your mother is, you know. But anyway,
Yeah.
right? So, well, I don't even know where we were because you
You
said you were.
said, "How did I get into rest?" Or like,
So now I start taking you to wrestling shows because
yeah,
you decide you want to help with the production side things.
yeah,
Again, thank you.
yeah.
Um,
It's fun. Well, that's I wanted to help you because we've been helping each other on with our
well,
films.
now that you've been watching wrestling with me,
Yes.
what do you think about it? Do you enjoy it? Do you like it?
It's only now like Siggy and the art of it. You know, like the art because you keep talking about the art farm, and I'm just like, oh, okay. So it might be over people's heads because they don't get it because of how intricate it is. Because it's
Sometimes,
fake, trying to look real,
yeah, but
trying to
sometimes,
be.
this makes me laugh because I was thinking this and it always makes me laugh. But people think like wrestling fans, and I've been guilty of it too. I've told you this multiple times.
Uh-huh.
They're brain dead. You know?
Wrestling fans?
Yeah. Oh, they're so stupid. This is fake. How can you watch it,
Yeah.
right? But sometimes I don't think they're brain dead. I think they might be very sophisticated to understand the art of it.
Yeah.
And they're willing to suspend disbelief
Mhm.
just to enjoy the art.
Mhm.
Just the same way as I know Robert Downey Jr. is not going to put on a suit of iron and defend our fucking rights.
Yeah.
Like, I know.
The double standard is crazy.
That's
with
what I'm saying.
movies
So
and
it's like
wrestling.
shit like that. Whereas, like,
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes, people shit on wrestling fans.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, there's plenty of stupid wrestling fans out there.
Yeah.
There's dumb ones. But at least they're willing to suspend disbelief
Yeah.
and enjoy themselves.
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes when people knock it, which a lot of people do, and I was afraid that you would too, because like I said, your mother, right? I just, it's my life. And that's the one thing I'm glad you just said.
Mhm.
I always talk about the art form.
Yeah.
People tend to forget about that.
Yeah.
And everybody tells me,
I come at it from a bit different, but I'm like I said, now starting to see your
no,
art form.
you were very resistant. That's why I asked the question.
No, yeah, but I like the part you didn't like. I like the ladder matches. I like the chaos.
No.
In the beginning, at least.
That's what you don't understand. I love those.
But you say that when they make sense.
When done right.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
I like it all the time.
Yes, because you're a nut job. You see, you're the definition of
Yeah.
like an ECW mark. You would love
Oh
ECW.
God.
ECW was just bedlam. But the
Yeah.
problem was you thought Vince McMahon was an animal with women. They sold sex even worse. It
Oh
was disgusting.
God.
Yeah, it was disgusting. But like to
That's another reason why you say why didn't I have dolls?
yeah,
Because I just didn't want to be girly girl. I don't want to do anything that's
yeah,
like that. Because I
yeah,
didn't want to be associated with that. And I thought being a girly girl meant being like one of those
yeah.
exploited women
Now listen, don't get me
types.
wrong. I know guys enjoy that. I'm not gonna sit here and
Yeah.
knock anybody. But when we all look at it as adults,
We're just like, come on.
it was it was
Really?
it was great. It was
It's
crazy.
kind of
It was great. That's all I'm gonna say. It was fucking crazy what they got away with.
no, I know.
Because
But as
nowadays,
adults you could see it as like
babe, it would have got ripped off the TV. Like those mom groups,
yeah.
they won.
Yeah.
They just won the long game.
Yeah.
Now they've won.
Yeah, yeah.
But back then they weren't winning.
No.
So like, listen. So like anybody who says, "Hey, maybe it was entertaining," yeah, well, listen, it might have been entertaining to you. I'm not going to say that it wasn't because I'm not
Mm-hmm.
going to take anything away from wrestling and anything,
Mm-hmm.
comic books, toys. It's all subjective.
Yeah.
Whatever's good for you might not be good for me.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is, right? But we all see things differently, and that's what makes us who we are, and that's why this world is beautiful because
Mm-hmm.
everybody's different. Not
Yes.
everybody is the same. If we're all the fucking same, then we might as well just live on a hive mind and
Yeah.
just do what AI says. At that point, we might as well just give in to AI if we're all going to be on the same fucking page,
Yeah.
right? So just be different, right? So
Resistance is futile, like the
that's what I'm
Borg.
saying. So like, I'm just happy that you were able to embrace wrestling.
Yes.
I'm happy that
It's
you
slow to your perspective though, you know?
very
But again, you have to see the sophistication of the art,
yeah.
which I it's like
It's
a
starting to dawn
wormhole
on you.
almost. Yeah.
It's starting to dawn on you.
Yeah.
Now I get it. For most women too, like, and this is the thing too. I always talk about it. Wrestling was always hard for women to get into because of how bad it was all
Yeah,
those years ago.
but I guess maybe it's my age group that like I wasn't there for that, you know?
You weren't there for that. But what
But
I'm
I
trying to,
guess your
yeah, what
age.
I'm trying to explain to you is
Yeah.
this era of wrestling is the most purest era
Yeah.
I've ever seen, and
Yeah.
I've seen every single era
Yeah.
going all the way back to the '80s.
Yeah.
Okay, that era was pure too. It
I
wasn't
was gonna
they?
say it was
They
good, yeah.
weren't grimy. I mean,
Yeah.
they didn't treat them right.
Yeah.
And when I say they, I mean women. They didn't treat them right, but
Yeah.
they didn't exploit them sexually like they did in the late '90s. You
Yeah.
understand?
Hmm.
And I think where we are today is where it should have been all along. And I
Yeah.
think we would have never had this negative view of
Viewpoint.
it. You
Yeah.
understand? If you would have done it the way it should have been done from day one,
Yeah.
then it would be
Maybe.
normal today.
Yeah.
Nobody would question it, right?
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
No, that's literally the problem with it. But I'm glad it is where it is today because at least now, 30, 40, fucking 50
I
years
was
from
gonna
now,
say now the kids will grow up next to
exactly,
this.
it'll be
Yeah.
normal for them. No one will fucking think it's weird. That's
Yeah.
all. So, but I'm happy you were able, I'm happy you're seeing it that way.
Yeah.
But you know what it is? It comes, you hang out with us a lot. Me,
Yeah.
Felix, you're around wrestling. You come to the
Mhm.
shows.
Yeah.
You hear the car ride conversations back.
Yeah.
It's always about how to make it better. It's never,
Which makes sense, and I could contribute to the conversation because I'm from production. I've been doing production
but once you start to see it,
5 years.
like you said, the art form,
Yeah.
and you start to understand that it's a
Yeah, because I
production.
was coming. Yeah, but I didn't see the art firm at first because
No,
I was just production, production,
yeah,
production. Like with my own experience combined with live event experience.
yeah,
So I'm just like learning that, and then obviously the crazy dumb shit of the ladder masters was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh, this is cool.
yeah.
But then like now it's the art form, you know?
And I think, honestly, I think that comes from us now watching a lot of the TV wrestling.
Yeah, what you're saying is sinking in now and
Yeah,
stuff.
because you're
Yeah.
starting to understand what's
I
going
guess
on.
also maybe I got older too, and I could see things from other
It's
perspectives.
but you you're starting to enjoy it because like now
Yeah.
you know theme song. And I'm not saying this to be I'm not making fun of you.
Now I know.
I'm not I'm saying when you do that stuff,
Yeah.
that means you're starting to enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is and it makes it always warms my heart.
Yeah.
When I see that you look up and you're actually engaging in what's going on.
Yeah.
You're not blinded by bullshit.
Well, I have a tip for
Yes,
toy wives and just
please,
wives in
yes.
general. I think it was you that said it. It said or I don't know if I read it or you said it. But like growing up, I was like, oh, the last thing I want is like a husband obsessed with sports and why I'm ignored or whatever, right? And then I think it was you that said there's two things you could do when like sports comes on, wrestling comes on, like at that time, like how
I
guys
definitely said this to you.
yeah,
You did not read this. Go ahead.
okay. or like the Super Bowl or whatever. Girls are like, ugh. So you could be one of two girls. You could be the ones that dread it, or you could be the one that sits with him, gets excited for it. Either you could plan a meal or food and enjoy it only during those times, or you could
Yeah,
this could be like your cuddle time,
yeah,
or you're like get work done on the couch time. Where I don't know if you sew or if you knit, you could sit on the couch with them and knit. You
yeah.
could like embroider a whole bunch of stuff you could do on the couch. You could, I mean, if you don't want to watch it, eventually you will
You'll start paying attention.
watch it, hear
Yeah,
something that's you sound, you know what I mean?
yeah.
But like, I don't know. I guess that could be my tip for the wives watching, because it's like,
And you know what?
do you want to be one or two?
Here's the thing, and I'm glad you brought that up
Mm-hmm.
because that goes for everything. That goes for the toy stuff too.
Yeah.
That goes for collecting too.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Oh yeah.
if you fully and you fully love me, you fully
Yes.
embraced me. So
Yeah.
that's why I said that stuff to you. I said you
What?
could be one of two people.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You could either be the pain in the ass that ridicules it and fucking knocks it. It's
Yeah.
I don't know why you watch this shit.
Mhm.
Up.
Yeah, but
And
then
it,
they'll watch Housewives.
but hold on. But
Yeah.
then what happens is you cause a rift
Yeah.
because I still want to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want to watch it with you now.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So either you could be that fuckface,
Yeah.
or you could be the actual supportive wife
Yeah.
that just sits and asks questions.
Yeah.
Because by asking questions, you're going to take an interest. By taking an interest, he now looks over and goes, "Huh,
Yeah.
she's taking an interest in something I like."
Yeah.
Now that brings you closer together. It doesn't
Exactly.
cause a fucking rift.
Now he's not gonna go find a girl who is interested
And
in
then
it,
it's not even that. It's just that he's
or
not going to go watch it
someone.
by himself.
Yeah.
He's not going to go hang out with his friends
Exactly.
instead because
Without you.
that's what I'm saying, and
Yeah.
it goes to this. Listen, and this is one thing I'm going to say.
Mhm.
They say that you should never be best friends with you. It's bullshit. You should be,
Yeah.
because I live with you. I
Yeah.
sleep with you.
Yeah.
I fucking
You're
have.
gonna be wiping each other's asses when you're old.
We need each other when we get older,
Yeah.
like you just said. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have to have. You have to be my best friend.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your
So
spouse has to be like
now, don't get me
the
wrong.
best person
Don't
in
get
your
me
life.
wrong. You can have other best friends.
Oh yeah.
Don't like. You, of course, you go do stuff with them. I'm not saying
Yeah.
you can't.
But your best friend
But
should be your
you
spouse.
should have a good tight knit relationship with your wife.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. I have a very healthy relationship with you.
Yeah.
I don't hide anything from you. I'm very honest with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Do we have our problems?
Yeah, but everyone does.
Everybody does. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
But it's how you have to work through them.
Yeah.
You
Now
have to
listen,
want to get to
this
the other
isn't some
side.
shit where we're going to sit here and wax poetically about.
Relationship
We
advice.
have our problems.
Yeah.
We do. It's the
Yeah.
truth. And it happens that they blindside you. You have your arguments, but
Mhm.
again, you've embraced not only the toy stuff,
Yeah.
you embrace the wrestling stuff.
Yeah.
And in doing so, that makes me support all the craziness
Oh.
on your end,
Yeah.
where you do shit that drives me crazy,
Yeah.
or I embraced your stuff,
Yeah.
like because you embraced
Mhm.
mine. It's a
Mhm.
two-way street,
Mhm.
and I just want everybody to know that, you know, you, I lucked out and found you.
Yeah.
I just thought like the same way you did. Like I'm fine with being alone.
Yeah.
Like it's okay
Yep.
because I want somebody. I don't know how this works, and I'm only saying this because I don't want to like do inside baseball and I want to peek behind the curtain. But sometimes we argue over women,
Yeah.
especially in wrestling.
Yeah.
And I try to explain to her that, at least for me, I can't speak for all men. I can only speak for me. Uh, I've always my entire life wanted a woman that I could be best friends with,
Mhm.
someone that I can share my road with,
Yeah.
because I don't want to do it alone, but have somebody.
Yeah.
I don't want to
Mm.
do all my shit alone and then come like I
Yeah.
wanted to be able to vent to you about everything.
Yeah.
The only way to vent to you about everything
Mhm.
is for you to know everything.
Yeah.
Is for you to be kind of a part of it so
Mhm.
that when I vent to you, you
Mhm.
understand it.
See the whole picture. Yeah.
Yes. The same way as I have embraced everything in your life. So
Yeah.
that when you come to me crying or complaining or angry, I know how to troubleshoot
Mhm.
because I understand you.
Yeah.
I think that is the best. I find that's what I looked for.
Yeah.
When people ask me, "Oh, how did you meet?" She was doing a movie,
Yeah.
and I answered the thing. When I met her, I instantly felt a small connection.
Mhm.
Nothing crazy,
Mhm.
but it grew over time.
Mhm.
When I started to date her, obviously things, opened up, and I realized, oh my God, this is the woman I've been looking for. I think we all feel the same. I think everybody has that. That's why people are married today,
Yeah.
obviously, right?
That's how
Um,
people.
but once I realized that I can tell her about the toys,
Yeah.
not only did she, you wanted to come with me
Yeah.
to hunt, and then
Yeah.
forget the toy cons.
I bought you. I
Yeah.
made note of what you were looking for most and bought them for
And
you.
bought them, yeah. So
Yeah.
it's like she embraced it. And then when I told her about wrestling, she's like, "Can I come? I want to see what it is about."
Yeah.
And even now, like, because we brought back the wrestling news channel stuff,
Mhm.
so I need to watch the shows.
Mhm.
And I thought that was going to be a problem with you. Like, I
Mm.
thought we were going to have a serious issue
Mhm.
because of the woman.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, but I guess somehow
but
I didn't
once
watch the Vince McMahon era, but like that's still
that's in your mind
yeah.
because of how you think.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing, and this is the thing I think that sold it
Mhm.
on the art form for you.
Mhm.
I explained to you. I know Vince McMahon fucked it up for women. I
Mhm.
know he did. He set them back 30 fucking years.
Yeah.
Okay? I understand that. But if you look at it now,
Mhm.
it's not that.
It's about moves and stuff.
It's about the art form.
Yeah.
They're learning the art form.
Mhm.
And I think they always wanted to learn the art form. It's just Vince was, nah, that ain't happening.
Mhm.
You know?
Mhm.
I think that's what happened.
Yeah.
And I think now you're in an era where, listen, they're women UFC fighters.
Yeah.
You know, they wear the same things.
Mhm.
It's gear, you
Mhm.
know, and we're at a time where I'm not telling you to love it.
Mhm.
You just, just embrace it for what it is. It's the art form,
Yeah.
and you started to.
Yeah.
And like I said, no man, I can't speak for all men,
Yeah.
but I think I can say this for all men. Nothing pleases us more or nothing gets to us more than when you embrace us.
Yeah.
You don't make fun of us for what we like.
Yeah.
Or if it's a friendly rib, it's a friendly rib. That's
Yeah.
fine. Like if I rib you for watching Help I'm in a Secret Relationship, I should expect for you to kind of poke when I mark out for fucking Cody Rhodes or some shit
Yeah.
like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I expect the little ribs. I get it.
Yeah.
You know, but to turn around and scoff and roll your eyes and grunt
Mhm.
only makes me feel that I can't watch it around you.
Mhm.
And I think everybody would feel that way.
Yeah.
Like if I tell you let's go to a toy show and you're like, ugh,
Yeah.
I feel like I can't bring you now.
Mhm.
Because I feel like now I'm dragging you
Yeah.
to do this thing.
Yeah.
And I think that if anybody's single, like that's what you should look for.
Yeah.
Fuck looks,
Mhm.
fuck the personality and the ability to accept you,
Yeah.
because that's what's going to make you love you.
Yeah.
That's my deep philosophical part of this
I like
show.
that. Find someone who makes you love you.
When you find somebody who embraces you,
Yeah.
it's easier to love yourself.
Yeah.
That's what I've discovered.
I
And
like
I
that.
thank you for that
Aw.
because you made me realize that.
Thank you, baby.
Nobody else has. I usually hate myself more, but because of you, you jerk, you made me appreciate myself.
Aw.
So thank you
Because
for
look how
that.
beautiful you are.
Oh, thank you. That being said, I'm going to ask you the last question so we can wrap
Mhm.
this up.
Yes.
Do you think you're going to be collecting the rest of your life?
Yes.
Oh, so I don't even have to get into the rest of the question, do
Well,
I?
say the rest of the question.
Or do you see a shelf life? No pun intended.
No, definitely no end. I just don't know what it'll be in 10 years.
Yeah.
Since I've changed so many times. It probably will still be animal related. I feel like would love to keep the gnomes my whole life. Because they're just like a protective spirit who's just like good vibes. They're just what you want.
Yeah.
Like that's just what I want the the vibe for our life together to be.
That's
Just
it.
like practical and stuff. And
Mm.
then I mean obviously the squishmallow might most likely will.
Those ain't going anywhere.
No, but they will either slow down or not be this big.
Or they'll stop making them.
That could be.
Yeah.
But there'll be like I feel like Squishmallow probably less. Not
Well,
the
Squishmallow, I think even if let's say the brand stopped,
yeah.
I still
But
think
no,
that
there's all you
you'll always see them
reselling.
at toy shop. I mean, look, when we
Yeah.
went to ZoloCon, there was a whole
Yeah.
booth of Squishmallow.
Yep.
You know.
What else do I collect now? The Briar horses I feel like will always be in the background.
Well, now you can get awesome like Mythic
Oh,
Legions horses and stuff like that.
that's
So
true.
horses will always be around.
Yeah. But my new collection, Calico Critters,
Oh yeah, that just that
started on my
that just
birthday.
started on your birthday today. Yeah, a couple of weeks ago.
But again, they're little animals, but they have clothes.
Yeah.
And they are in little houses because my favorite part about which I didn't mention, my favorite part as a kid was the play sets. Because
Okay.
I would have like a castle, like my brother's castle, like he would have the little knights in. Where I was like,
Yeah.
you keep those, but he didn't want the play sets anymore. So I would take like my favorite was like this castle playlist. It was like Fisher Price. I found it for like $300 on like eBay or
Wouldn't
something
shock
like
me.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would just get all my little animals and just play with them in the thing. But now Calico Critters
Yeah.
has
Houses.
clothes and houses
Man,
and their little
they have
animals.
everything. They have
They're
cars.
fuzzy.
Uh,
Yeah, they have cars.
if anybody's
So
into little like animals, like cute animals, like
yeah,
Hello Kitty type stuff,
yeah,
they're called Calico Critters.
yeah,
They're at Barnes and Noble mostly,
yeah.
and
But
Five
they look
Below.
like realistic.
But they look like realistic
Well, they hit
animals.
3 POA.
They have a couple points of articulation.
Yeah, they got clothes like Velcro
Yeah,
clothes.
they have soft, good
I
clothing.
think the items are
Mm.
the accessories is 112 scale,
Seems that way.
and they have
Mm.
working appliances. Like the sink has water.
Yeah, yeah, like the
The
little
little
thing comes
oven
out. Yeah,
flips the food. Like
yeah,
it's cute.
a
So
very cool thing.
I
So
think
that's
that might be my new. If it change, it's not gonna stop. It's just gonna evolve.
the problem with the
So
Calico Critters. It's going to get expensive
they're very
because
expensive.
they're a little pricey. But
Yeah,
listen, that's what happens. Like, look,
yeah,
I mean, look, Marvel Legends is starting to go up in price now as well.
yeah,
These any hobby you get into, I
yeah.
don't think you ever take into account
The price.
the expense. You don't
Yeah.
take into the account because you're in love with the um the hobby itself. Whether
What's
it's
funny too is that like I guess I assume a lot of people who are like maybe wives who aren't into the toy thing,
yeah,
they talk about the price of like, oh, why are you buying all this?
well, because they
But
see
then
money going out because they
y-
don't understand it.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
can I just say that acrylic nails cost $90 and that you have to get them monthly. So it's $100 on just nails.
Uh,
So and then like bras, makeup, clothing,
it's expensive.
hair, same amount that a husband would spend in
Yeah,
toys.
yeah,
So
yeah.
if it's a price, it's if they talk about price, they're clearly it's because they don't
Well,
accept
I
it.
mean, listen. One time,
But they need to look into that.
and you were here. My brother brought his kid down
Yeah.
to show him the Batmobiles, and he goes, your uncle's a nut job. This is he's wasting his money." And he walks away,
Mhm,
and just as he walks away,
mhm.
you have stacks of Jordan sneakers.
Yeah.
You only have one pair of feet,
Yeah.
so
Same with hats.
you can't wear all those shoes,
Exactly.
right? So, but
Girls have that with heels too.
that's what I'm saying. So, like,
Shoes.
a lot of times people don't get
Yeah.
the connection because they don't understand what you're like, whether it's collection, whether it's wrestling. That's why I
Yeah.
brought up wrestling, because wrestling's another thing people just tend to scoff at and roll their eyes
Yeah.
because they don't get it. But here's the thing:
Mhm.
you don't have to.
Yeah.
You just have to embrace the fact that the other person
Mhm.
likes it.
Yeah.
You don't have to like it.
Mhm.
You just got to embrace it.
I
That's
also
it.
think though that toys or anything that seems childish,
Yeah.
whether that's comics, whatever the hell, I think that's just showing a person a very vulnerable side, the inner child of themselves. And maybe
Yeah.
that's why
Yeah.
people is like, oh, why you have that out? Like,
Mm.
put that away,
Maybe
type shit.
maybe they're very
Because
guarded.
they probably have a lot of inner child
Uh,
trauma, whatever the hell you want to say.
maybe sometimes they just don't want to admit to themselves
And I
that
think,
they
like,
yeah.
I mean, it almost like you said in a lot of your other talk figures, that almost got a lot of us. And it probably stopped a lot of things or prevented
Mhm.
us, like when people made fun of us for liking things. Like that's why I don't have 20,000 brats because I
Mhm.
brought one to school. They're
And they
like,
made
"Why do
fun
you
of it.
have that?" I was like, "Okay, well
Uh,
I'm done with brats, and I'll go back to animals
yeah.
or whatever, or I'll go to anime, books or something like
Yeah.
that."
Well,
Like,
that's like a lot of us. So whenever I interview guys, mostly guys,
yeah,
um, but when they all say I get to a certain age, it's got to be about girls now. Like
mhm,
in your brain,
yeah,
we all have it, girl,
mhm,
guy.
mhm,
Um, you hit an age where it's like time to grow up.
yeah,
It's time to now. Well, no, I'm not a kid no more.
yeah,
And then, like I said, then a point you get to a point in your adulthood where
mhm.
you're like, "Fuck,
F that.
I want to be a kid again."
Yeah,
And so it's like one of those
yeah,
things where it flips when
yeah,
you hit like 12, 13, whatever
mhm,
that preteen
mhm,
phase, right?
yeah,
But oh no, it's time to be a grown man. I have to be cool. I have to fit in,
yeah,
and then you get to an age as an adult where you're like, I don't want to fucking fit in. I
yeah,
just want to be me.
yeah,
Like that's where at least that's where I was,
yeah,
because and it seems that everybody I talk to,
yeah.
they
Has a
all have the
point.
same thing where
Yeah,
it's like, yeah, I got in a girl, so it's time to give it up. And
mhm,
then like, yeah, when I turned 19, 20, I was like, what the fuck? This is so cool.
yeah,
And then you got right back into it because like, your brain just snaps and it's like, fuck this shit.
yeah,
Either I'm gonna be me
yeah,
and be happy,
yeah,
or I'm gonna put on a facade and be miserable.
yeah,
So I'm just happy that everybody embraces themselves.
yeah.
It's one thing I love about this space. We
Mhm.
all embrace what we love,
Yeah.
and we're all passionate about it. And at the end of the day, that's what brings us all together.
Yeah.
So, like I said, if I'm going to put a bow tie on today's episode, that's it.
Yeah.
I'm
Fun.
happy that I met my wife. She's an
Yeah.
amazing person.
Oh, thank
Uh,
you.
it's a work in progress when it comes to wrestling because she has her
It's slow, but it's progress.
very slow.
Okay,
Yeah,
you could say more than other people can.
yeah, but she's starting to embrace it. She's starting to get it.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to see that. WrestleMania is right around the corner, so
Oh
you better be ready.
no.
There's gonna be a lot of wrestling that week.
I
I'm just
know.
telling you right fucking now.
I know.
So just be ready for that because we're excited for that here at this house. All right. Some
Yeah.
people they go balls to the wall for the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
right?
They make parties for that. Yeah.
WrestleMania. That's this house.
This is the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's my Super Bowl. That's my NBA Finals.
Yeah.
Unless the Mets are in the World Series, it's my World Series. So
But again, wives who aren't into that, they should just get into it by being like, okay, this is the time when I could
I'll tell you this too.
make this food.
When it comes to sports, sports is very easy to get into.
Oh yeah.
You just got
First
to
of all, I was shocked by the amount of women nowadays who are into sports.
well, mostly football, and
Is
that's
it?
only because of that dipshit Taylor
No.
Swift.
Is it? I don't think that's the only reason.
But no, again, football
Yeah.
is easy to get into
Mhm.
because it's a contact sport. It's fast. Okay,
Yeah.
it's
Like
very
an
easy.
action scene in a movie.
Yeah, it's very easy to get into.
Yeah.
Okay, it's very marketable. They market it very well towards all demographics. Yeah. So it's very easy to get into football.
Yeah.
Football and also, and obviously it's not this doesn't work for you because you're not a drinker and you don't go to bars. But if you're a person who likes that stuff, football is easy to fall into because on Sunday at the bar, it's football Sunday. So it's easy for you to fall into that.
Yeah.
Baseball, basketball, those long like hockey where the season is long, baseball especially where the game does get boring if you don't like baseball. You know, I like baseball. I like turning the game on, working on something and just listening to the play-by-play, listening to the game, you know, popping when somebody hits a fucking home run or a base hit or takes the lead or a strikeout, whatever it is. I always feel like you can get into any of these things.
Yeah.
You just got to have an open. Listen, I thought Catfish and My Secret Life were the dumbest shits on TV. I thought they were dumbing down. Well, I hated MTV. I love music videos, right? I hated the fact that what MTV is now today. But now you made me watch it. I can't wait for it. You know, because I opened when you said please just watch it, and I watched it with an open mind, and I'm like, when you watch
That's the only dumb shit I watch though.
but when you take it for what it is entertaining.
Yeah.
You do kind of take something away from it.
Yeah.
You know, so like, and like I said, the same could be said about pro wrestling.
Yeah.
It's dumb as shit, right? It's dumb. We all know it's fake. We know what it is. But at the end of the day,
it's not dumb, and because you're seeing the natural athletic ability of people, so you can't say that's dumb because that's their athletic
understood.
ability.
But a lot of people don't like the colorful tights, the silly gimmicks, the silly storylines.
Yeah, because I guess the closest they get to that is just like circus stuff, you know.
Exactly. But again, if you take it for what it is, and you understand what the art form is, the same thing with that secret. That's just reality television. Reality television is an art form in itself, right? We can all agree. Wrestling's the same way.
Yeah.
So as long as you embrace it, that's today's like keyword. Just embrace. Yeah. And if you embrace it, I'm telling you, it'll make life so much easier for everybody. That's really, like I said, I wanted to bring you on here because a lot of guys, I mean, I know they have supportive wives, and I want everybody to know that they're out there. Yeah. Most of us found them already. We found out.
Hey, there's some out there for those who don't have it.
Of course, but you have to find your support system.
My best advice on how to find someone who would support you is forget trying to find someone. Just focus on your hobbies and and then you will find someone in that hobby. Like for us, it was film. We weren't looking for a partner. We were friends first. And it was like we're both into film. We both are artistic. And so just focus on what you love. And then the people who already are into that. So you don't have to worry about them like, oh, how are they going to feel when they see this, you know?
Yeah.
Because they already know.
Some people don't like that. Some people want their life to be their life.
Oh, they want to separate.
Some people want, and if you want that, then you have to find the same thing. Yeah. They're okay with you doing that because they want to do that, and you guys come together when you come together.
It's all about what you want.
Exactly. So as long as everybody finds that, and I'm sure you all have that. We're not, like I said, we're not sitting here trying to preach. No. We're just trying to tell you that it exists. Yeah. I found it. Yeah. I never expected to find you. No. And I'm sure you never expected to find me. No. But something, like you just said, you focused on something that you loved, which made you love you. Yeah. And what happened? The universe rewarded you. Yep. So thank you so much for coming on. Thank you. I want to say something to you right now. Yeah. And it was multiple times I almost laughed.
What?
I completely forgot you were in the room. All right? I've been looking at the screen, and the way it's configured, you were.
I know, it looks like
Looks
I'm
like two
light
separate.
colored.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I'm saying. And
you're
it
black.
had. I've noticed now that we've literally have separated these rooms
I
in
know.
half.
Can we touch our hands?
Right, I'm almost. I
Touch.
got you. Yeah. But thank you so much for coming on and taking time to
Yes.
hang out with me. I love
Thank
you
you. I love
very,
you.
very much.
I love you so much.
Um, you can follow Crown Fox Productions over at on Instagram and YouTube at Crown Fox Productions.
Mhm.
There, she does, like I said, all kinds of cryptid stuff,
Spooky shit.
paranormal stuff,
Mhm.
and then like I said, she goes live with evening or afternoon divinations where she does card readings.
Yep.
She also does some video game streams from time to time.
Mhm.
You can catch her every Friday with me and Felix over on the pre-roll right here on Legend Series. And usually, whenever I'm live, she's always in the background doing
I'm
something.
somewhere.
Yeah,
Can't get rid of me.
she's lurking. Yeah, she's a lurker.
I
Uh,
am.
follow me all over and on all the social channels at
Yes.
Legend underscore series. I appreciate you guys, man. That is Crown Fox. I am Tony. This has been Talking Figures. As always, keep playing, everybody.